let's be real, when I say that I like monster collectors, I have only really played Pokemon and Digimon. And also I guess there was World of Final Fantasy, whatever. But I discovered a few weeks before its release the existence of Palworld. The advertisements seemed really promising. The problem? On YouTube there are a lot of fake advertisements. Does it ring a bell if I say, playing games people say are fake, part 5? But you know, once it released, some of my friends told me, hey, do you want to play Palworld with me? And so I downloaded the game. And I started playing the game. And I was not able to stop. Yeah, we can say I fell in love with this game. Now, let's make a little premise. I will not talk about the aesthetic of the pulse in this video, because from what I understood there is currently a controversy about people accusing the developers of using AI to develop the pulse based on the Pokemons. Nothing confirmed for now, but anyways, we will not talk about that. And I really hope that is not the case, because this game, apart from the design, has a lot of very solid ideas. And also I just want to share my adventure with you. So, without further ado, I am Frapollo94, and welcome to my 50 hours in Palworld. Let me just precise one more thing, this game is in early access, is currently the version 0.1.2, so you can expect a lot of bugs, which is a thing I hope to find, as sometimes bugs can create funny situations, especially because playing a game in early access allows you to see all the evolution the game gets over the years, even in the bugs department, so the more bugs we get, the better. My character is Frapollo, my island is of course Frapollino Island, and now let's go. The introduction is very simple. We wake up on a beach with no information about us, but we have a purpose. The towers are the key. The tree holds the truth. And now gameplay starts! It felt promising, already giving us a choice. You can either go forward, or you can go behind you. And you know, being a Dark Souls player, of course I went behind me, thinking it may be a more difficult route with extra resources, and we will go back to this later. By carefully climbing down, we were able to reach a desolated beach, and there were a couple of pulse patrolling the area. But more importantly, this is the moment in which I had my first epiphany. Do you see that thing in the distance? You know, I am going in this game completely blind, so I have no idea about what to expect from this. But this single-handedly was able to hype my adventurous spirit. Definitely cannot wait until I'll be able to go there. And then I had my first interaction with a pal. Wait, this is an action game. Can I punch them? Oh, here I started to feel the potential for the possible stuff to do. In my head I already had a giant sword ready to kill a dragon or something. Also I tried to test the physics by pushing his corpse in the water and yeah. Oh, and I think this is the perfect moment to say something else. This video will not be a rush whatsoever. I am not gonna be like, and then we captured this new fantastic pal using my pulse spheres, but I forgot I didn't have enough pulse spheres with me. So I went back, I found more, and then I went back here in order to get more stuff. Today's video is gonna be more calm, we may say. There are gonna be cool moments, don't misunderstand me. But I am experimenting with another style of videos in this moment. Anyways, continuing, we found Cattiva, which started running for some reason. But you know, definitely she will go somewhere where I can actually get some items or something. This is clearly intended to be a secret. And she's still running. Yep, she's still running. Yeah, it's been like 15 seconds before I realized I was wasting my time. And so I decided to punch this one as well. Let's pretend we did not see anything, okay? After some time I stopped playing around and I actually was able to craft a pulse sphere. Pulse spheres are the main way you will get new pulse in this game. And then I went around until I found a Chikipi. Get it? Because it's a chicken. So, Chikipi. And after punching him a little bit, I was able to get my first pal of the game, Chikipi. and I immediately wanted to see how did a battle between two pals performed. And you know what? Decently well. Like, let me explain clearly. This game has auto battle. For now. But to me, it's very funny to watch, and also, you can actually fight as well. You can go around in the arena, and I'm sure later on we are gonna have some weapons. By this point, I also explored a little bit the menu. We have the PAL deck with all the information about the PALs we know. We have the inventory, and we have the technology tab, which allows you to unlock new crafting recipes depending from the level you are and from the technology points you have. The tutorial missions in the upper right corner say to make a PAL box because it will work as a base. So, that's what I do. By placing a PAL in there, it will always stay around the base. Or, we can also place the PAL into a storage, where they will get revived in 10 minutes if their HP go to 0. And I think with the night it's the perfect time to mention something. Do you feel this immersion too? There is no music. And the game will have no music for the majority of the time. Yet do you see how much atmosphere does it create? It is just us, our PAL, and a small bonfire in the middle of nowhere. Not knowing where we are. It reminded me a lot of Digimon World, actually, and this is not the only time I will bring up Digimon World for this game. But yeah, this moment gave me a great first impression. But now I guess it's time to get to work. I also was able to craft a pickaxe, which from what I understood is able to gather rocks more efficiently because you deal more damage. And also I realized every time your character levels up, you can actually increase one of your stats. That's honestly pretty neat. I think that's one of the main similarities I heard between this game and Ark Survival Evolved, despite the fact I have never played Ark. But then I decided to enter into the dungeon. Yeah. We had our base exactly in front of a dungeon, and you would never expect what I found inside. Huh? People? What are they doing here? Thugs? Why are they so high level compared to me? These two reminded me a lot of games like Digimon World Next Order. Behind the corner, you may approach high level Digimons with incredible attack, so you have to pay attention to how you move and where you go every time. But then, of course, I had my 9000 IQ idea, are you ready? Since I had 2 spheres, I thought, wait, if I catch a high-level PAL, it will be easier. Yeah. You know what? For now, let's focus on the very basic PALs. First, we were able to capture Lambal, and then with his help, we also were able to capture Cattiva. Oh, and a Cattiva entered into the wall. I wasn't expecting to get a bug like this early, honestly. But I mean, it's not the only thing. As you can see, my Lambal just decides to just chill on the mountain. This, my friends, is the true essence of playing a game in early access. But you know what? I am a stubborn person, if you know me. We have a team of 3 pals. We may be able to take down a high-level pal in the cave. Let's go back for a second. Hey, there is a new pal here. Killamari. Alright, let's try it. You know, this battle was pretty difficult, also because I was scared of being attacked by someone else in the cave. But then, something miraculous happened. The Syndicate thugs started attacking Killamari, and when it was weakened, I was able to catch it. Huh? Yes! Now we have a level 7 pal! We are unstoppable! Eh? Okay. So if the player level is low, the pal level cannot exceed it. Alright, can't just cheese the game with high level pals. Fair, that's fair. But regardless, we have a new pal in the collection. By this point I was just innocently going through my pal deck to check the information about Killamari, but huh? Where did I see you? And you? During the night I was also able to see some new pals, which I think are exclusive to the night period. There was this pink fairy, and then there was... Batsumaru? That's literally Batsumaru. I love him, I captured the 2 of him and I don't regret it. But I still did not forget my main goal. Reaching that stupid structure. I leveled up a little bit my base, which increases the amount of pals you can place in there, and I built a wrench. Now, my pals can actually start working. In the ranch in particular, they are able to produce resources over time, which is gonna help in the long run, technically. Back in the cave, I actually tried to fight the thugs, and I discovered they drop the pulse spheres. So, theoretically, if I become strong enough and I'm able to kill them consistently, I can get pulse spheres from here. We are gonna keep that in mind. But at the end, we found the boss of the cave. Dire Howl. I was very confident. We had a full team of decently strong pals. What could go wrong? Yeah, I may have forgotten that it doesn't matter how many strong pals you have. If we die, it's over. And when I respawn, there is a mammo rest near my base! Hey! Nah. If we failed against a level 13 Dire Howl, there is no way we can take on this creature. For now, I will leave you here, but we will be back. By this point, I was just farming more materials to prepare for the adversities. And then, I finally decided it was time to go back at the beginning. Remember at the start you could either go forward or go behind you? What if we go forward now? Oh! This moment was brilliant. I don't know if you ever played Elden Ring, but after going through Stormveil Castle and after seeing the access to the rest of the world, that's the exact feeling I was able to feel here. And it's not the only important thing to mention. Going around here, I was able to see many more pulse, many more resources, even pulse spheres scattered on the ground, making it the perfect zone to start the game. If only I didn't go on the beach at the start, god damn it. Whatever, let's not think about that, because now we unlock the fast travel with these statues right here. And then we started capturing new pals such as Pengulet and the deer, okay? And we got it! I also checked his passive, and apparently we can ride him after crafting a certain item. And the item is unlocked at level 12, so for now it's just a dream. We also finally find some NPCs which are able to give us some decent stuff and nothing else. But there it was, very near the beginning, the first tower. Okay, from what we know, towers are the key, and we were supposed to be here at the start, so maybe now that I leveled up a bit, I am gonna be able to do it. Let's try. So, this is the first boss, Zoe and Gritzbolt. And now we're at 30,000 HP! How are you even supposed to beat this? Yeah, saying I was unprepared would be an understatement in this case. And very quickly, she was able to obliterate me. God damn it! It was so cool! It's still gonna be a very long way before we deal with that. We are nowhere near being strong enough. While exploring, I also discovered another way to get new pals, the Syndicate camps. In certain zones, there are gonna be some small camps of Syndicate thugs with an imprisoned pal, and if you free him, you can enslave it yourself. Perfect. And I think around this point I realized something. The main way the game wants you to gain experience, at least right now, is not by defeating opponents. The game wants you to capture as many pals as possible, because for the first 10 captures of each species, you get a great experience boost. So yeah, capturing time. My gameplay loop by this point was pretty simple. Get some resources to craft pulse spheres, then go around in the wilderness and capture more pulse, and after that get more resources and capture even more pulse. I know something like this may seem repetitive to some of you, but it was funny. To be more precise, I honestly wasn't able to stop playing by this point. There were so many things keeping my hype high. The tower battle, strong boss pals, and that structure in the distance. And after some time, I saw it. Nightwing. Huh? Is that a fly? Okay. Let's not consider that he's flying into a column, but that's a flying pal. Do we have a sphere? 4 spheres. Okay. You already know what I'm gonna do. This pal was flying, so in my mind it was clear at one point I would have been able to fly with it too. And yeah, I accidentally killed it, but my luck never ends, there is another one! This was a very tense battle, because I had to manage the damage he dealt to me, and the damage I dealt to him. One excessive hit, and I may lose forever the chance to capture it. But in the end, fortunately, we got it. And there it is at level 15, the saddle to fly. We will arrive to this at one point, I promise. But for now it was time for another saddle. We're at level 12, so we can finally ride the deer. And not only this speeds up the movement, but it also unlocks the manual battle. Because while you ride a pal, you can actually control that pal, decide what attack to use in which moment and where to aim. How can I try this new power? Tower battle? Maybe not. But hey, the dungeon boss was level 13, that seems more doable. And it indeed was, the exploration was finally being fairly manageable, and our progresses finally showed their fruits. The thugs, which before still seemed scary opponents, now became nothing more than a way to farm more spheres. We were gaining power. And then we arrived to the boss room again. This time, it's Dinossum. Both the pals were dealing great damage to each other. The difference is we had access to more pals, including Nightwing. And with that, our first boss was easily defeated. The reward wasn't really anything special, but the experience, not only the in-game experience, but also the player experience, the feeling of accomplishment you get, was for sure worth it. During my exploration I also was able to find, finally, a village with some people, including a pal trader. Even though unfortunately we don't have enough money to trade with him, but we will remember about this location for the future. And then, while I was gathering more pals, I got chills down my spine. Do you recognize that shape? That's the same building we saw from the starting beach. That is the main goal I had. We must reach it. And so I started swimming, and I kept going for a lot of time. This silence, broken only by the movement of the waves, increased the tension a lot. I don't know about you, but I am thalassophobic, so being alone in the middle of the ocean, almost at night, really was uncomfortable in some moments, and I love it. But there was another problem. I did not have enough stamina to reach the island, and so I died in the ocean, drowning. We still were not ready. Back at my base, I was just chilling, and then something happened. Huh? What's gonna happen? Am I gonna be attacked by a multitude of opponents at the same time? Well, theoretically, yes. Actually, I think this point of the map is bugged, and making a base here doesn't make the opponents understand how to reach me, so my base is raid-proof, which is not technically a good thing, because raids are gonna be very useful later on, but still. The exploration continued, until I found a boss in the overworld, Chillet. Our level was already high enough, and so I charged without fear. This battle was fundamental to understand the core of this game. Our pals are strong as hell, while us, for now at least, are nothing more than a mosquito trying desperately to stay alive while our pals defeat the opponents. And I showed this by hiding behind a rock, repeatedly, while my pals tried to deal damage, and then I died. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't try this boss, maybe I should just go around with my deer and... Wait a second. Something completely unrelated to this ran through my head. Can we reach that island by riding our deer? Pals should move faster, and maybe they also have more stamina, so... Can we do it? We did it. We are on the island. And the view I had was exactly what I was hoping for. Treasure chests, high-level pulse, hostile scenario, everything I was hoping to find in this place. Then my deer got stuck in a wall and I remember this is an early access game. You know, I have to say one thing about this. A lot of people say this is Pokemon with guns, but I for now have a different vision, completely different. This is not Pokemon with guns. This is Digimon World and Subnautica Child. Like, weapons are already a part of Digimon design. Digimon World elements, exploration of vast zones, feeling of discovery of the unknown, taking care of your pals like a Tamagotchi. And on the other side we have Subnautica, fear of the unknown. This place was giving me chills as I was climbing, scared of the possibility of seeing a giant pal appearing in front of my face. And also that criminal activity constantly flashing on my screen. Was I not supposed to be here? What is this place? So yeah, in my opinion, the core of this game is much more similar to those rather than Pokemon. I explored the whole place, and apparently from what I understand, it was just a sanctuary where pals could live freely. But what is this? Technology? This gave me motivation. I was gonna go back to Chillet and I was gonna capture it. And so I did. At this point I discovered the third way to get new pals, by creating the egg incubator. There are various eggs around the world, and by collecting them and placing them in here and waiting some time, you get some fresh new pals. And by this point, I felt very strong. I finally decided it was time to try to defeat the first tower again. My team was very good, and this battle was teaching me some mechanics that I think are fundamental towards playing. Switching pals before they die, because they slowly regen health, the importance of dodging. Enemy pals will focus you at least once every 2 attacks if you're unlucky, so understanding all the possible attacks of the opponents is important. Despite once again being mainly an auto battle, this was fantastic. Wait a second. Did we kill her? She was unconscious in the same way that all other pals are once their HP reaches 0. Wait, was the tower challenge a fight to the death for all this time? Luckily in that moment the adrenaline I had was much more than the rationality. So I didn't really think about it too much and I kept exploring normally and expanding my base. But something was feeling off. And then I finally realized why there are only a few people in this place. By this point we were at level 16, and the exploration was bringing us to new zones with also some imponent architecture. These statues in particular on the bridge, they have to be some legendary pal or something. But spending all the time with the pals was making me wonder, why are there just a few humans in here, and a huge part of them is thugs? What happened to the others? Did they all die? I was starting to feel distressed because of this, so I decided to keep myself busy with some exploration. Who knows? Maybe I will find a village or something. At least we were discovering a lot of new cute pals. Yeah, very cute. But every time I looked at my map, I was still thinking about that sanctuary in the middle of the ocean. There were PIDF soldiers in there. Humans. Even though I was considered a criminal in there was possibility of communication. And reaching level 10 of the base gave me the possibility to create a second base somewhere else. The next morning, I was already swimming with my deer. I went around a little bit to decide the best location, and then I placed the PAL box. Welcome home. I still had no idea about what to do with this home, but that would have been a consideration for the future. The only thing I knew is that this environment fascinated me too much for me to not use it. So I started transferring a huge part of my resources in there. I built structures, I placed pals, I was starting to feel really at home. But the best realization arrives now. Since my pals can be deployed in my base, if a high-level pal passes nearby, then all the pals will attack him simultaneously, giving me the possibility to very easily catch them. And then a level 37 PIDF officer appeared. Maybe it's better to not attack the PIDF at all, for now. But hey, at one point a Petalia passed nearby, and my strategy finally rewarded me. I knew placing a base here wasn't a stupid idea. Even though, here I have a little complaint to mention. Moving stuff from the chests was the most tedious thing I have ever done. You can only take all, half, or one item with a click, so it results in spending a lot of time just taking the quantity that doesn't let you go into overweight. And this will become much more relevant in the future when items in a chest will reach quadruple digits. Despite all that, this island was still a goldmine for me. I captured a deer of Terra, and in general, dealing with outsiders was very easy with all the pals I had in my base. So everything was going well. And then, an opponent dropped a Gigasphere, which seemed able to capture even higher level pals with ease. We have to use it carefully. And then I saw a Gridsbolt. It's the same one of the boss fight. I wanted him so badly. His performance was fantastic in there. I must catch him. I pushed him a little bit away from my base because I was kinda scared that having all those pals was gonna kill him immediately. And then I kept throwing balls until... But now, we have to talk about something that really shocked me. You know, by this point the absence of a huge part of humanity wasn't bothering me at all, and I was just enjoying my time with my pals. Until... Huh? 0.39% chance? Chance of what? To capture him? Did I really capture a human? I went through the PAL deck to check if humans were considered pals, but luckily nothing was present. Still, I got an information that capturing humans in PAL spheres is considered inhumane. Why are PAL spheres able to capture humans? Or more importantly, who created PAL spheres in the first place? But you know, fortunately, throwing a ball and seeing a human appear made me kinda laugh for a simple reason. Remember the glitch in old Pokemon games which literally allowed you to catch Pokemon trainers? This felt the same, but this time actually implemented as a real mechanic. It was able to partially make me forget what we just did. But was it for real? Or was it a hysterical laugh to not think about what I just did? I decided I had played enough for that day. The next day my mind was more lucid and also more relaxed. Capturing humans wasn't disturbing me so much anymore, but would that mean I could also enslave them to work for me this way? I mean, thinking about it, was there really that big of a difference between what I was doing with the pals and what I could have done with humans? For now I kept exploring and expanding my base. I built a stone pit. Now I was able to produce all the primary resources I needed in my home. I reduced the amount of physical activity I needed to do in order to dedicate myself to other stuff. And then I saw a member of the PIDF. You know, after capturing a syndicate thug, I was thinking, maybe a PIDF officer is gonna be stronger. Maybe it has special abilities. Maybe... And I died over and over and over again. And I wasn't able to catch anything. No. If I want to do this, we need stronger pals. And that's why, while going around, I found a boss called King Paka. Needless to say, I immediately started the battle. After all, what could have gone wrong? Yeah. Even after getting a mount and defeating a tower, there were still several things currently impossible to me. Mainly because of the level cap caused by the player level. And for that reason, I kept going around, catching new pals and taking advantage of the experience boost. And you know what was my conclusion during this process? The base on the beach is useless! There aren't any important resources around, it is not in a strategic position or something, and so I started dismantling stuff from there and placed it in my new main base. One thing I have to say that will become more and more time consuming as we level up, this game is very grindy. To do level ups, you need a huge amount of experience points. And yeah, you have access to experience boost by capturing pals, but even this is gonna become smaller and smaller. You will have to dedicate yourself a lot if you really want to reach higher levels, but, at least for me, currently it's not boring. There is always new pals to find and new zones to explore as we capture stuff. And don't let me start with the bosses around the map. Bosses are a fantastic way to enjoy harder battles and capture powerful pals. Even though the arena will always be the exact same, a square with some columns, 2 of which are broken, which kinda becomes repetitive after a while. But at least we got a boss, Pen King! It's still not fully clear to me if bosses have inherently better stats than normal pals, but the more the merrier. And since we are mentioning all the stuff I disliked and liked for now, let's mention one thing I hate, even though it's partially my fault. Since we play normal difficulty, when you die, you lose all your items in that precise spot. You have no idea how frustrating it is, dying far away from any teleport statue. This will happen multiple times in the rest of the run, and in each one of those, I seriously thought of smashing my head in the wall. Metaphorically, of course. Because of this, I decided to take a different approach. Before even trying to catch more pals, I would first take advantage of Nightwing to go around and unlock as many teleport statues as possible. In this way, we're gonna be safe everywhere we go. Hey, is that a turtle? So, let's continue with our funny and happy adventures together with our cool friends. Let's go! Justice. Huh. Is this Demon Souls? So, now that the base on the beach doesn't exist anymore, what are we gonna do with our second base? I have the perfect answer. We're gonna use it to farm a resource we cannot produce in our main base. Ores! After finding a place full of ore spawns, I placed the pal box, food farm, and some miner pals to start it. Oh, and of course a multitude of lambal to pick up the ores. Ores seem to become fundamental for the next progression steps, so having this farm will be useful over time. As for the exploration, I was currently stuck. I was trying to catch Quivern, a level 23 pal, and I died again, and again, and again. Even the new Gigaspheres I was able to craft didn't do anything. So instead of wasting my resources every time, I just decided to go around, capture more normal pals, and made more progresses in the second base, mainly increasing the amount of miners to get more ores. Oh wait, did I explain a little bit the job system? Long story short, pals have specific levels in specific jobs depending from their species. Some can do a lot of stuff, some are specialized into one particular thing, such as the Dig Toys I'm catching right now. Dig Toys has level 3 mining, the highest I've found for now, so for the ore farm seems perfect. And after I made some progresses, I went back to Quivern. This time, I had a plan. My damage is incredibly low, but there was something I could do. Would you believe me if I told you that a decent part of the damage was done by my torch? You see, torch can make certain opponents burn, which makes them lose HP over time. The less health, the better for our strategy. And you know, I recently dropped a hyper sphere from an opponent, which is 1 tier higher than my current spheres. So, at a decent health, I just threw it. Ah, yes! Another one captured. And you know, after dealing with this one, I decided to go back to King Paka, and yeah, it's only a 3% chance to capture him, but I had a huge amount of normal pal spheres, so why not, would you say? I was feeling very confident with my new allies, which meant I was gonna try even other bosses, such as Cateris. But in the end, fortunately, we got her. With the new levels, I got access to a new technology, a machine which combines pals of the same species to strengthen up them. I won't really use this thing too much, as it requires absurd amount of pals after the first improvement. By this point, we already had 2 epiphanies. I wasn't really expecting anything else for a while. But then, when I was going around with Nightwing, I saw it. The tree. A giant tree, extending on the whole horizon. It seemed like it was calling me. As you remember in the introduction, they said it. The tree holds the truth. I need to see what's inside. Maybe a power strong enough to allow me to triumph on the PIDF agents. After riding my Nightwing, I started going. And after some time I died of cold because I did not bring my Tundra outfit. Alright, let's redo this, but with cold resistance armor. This walking section, and I'm not joking, was able to last more than 5 minutes. 5 minutes of me just holding a button to go in a certain direction. God damn it. And when I hear the funniest part, are you ready? We cannot access the tree because there is a barrier in the middle. Is that because of the towers? We need to defeat all of them? And no. In post-commentary, I can tell you, no. The tree is still not implemented in the game. Couldn't someone tell me? Couldn't they place a sign before this whole journey to say something like, don't bother going to the tree, there is a barrier. Bro! No, I am not gonna go back and spend 5 more minutes holding a button. I will drown here and I don't care anymore. I was going crazy. I absolutely wanted more hyperspheres no matter what. So, I shot a PIDF officer. I don't care. My pals may die in this battle. I don't care. All I want is more power and more stuff to get more pals. And this mistake was fatal. You see, I think Destiny was watching in this moment. Something burned my base, which is entirely made with wooden floor. And I think you know how it works. If something is burning, it propagates to other parts. It took me a couple of seconds to realize the gravity of what was happening. But I think you will understand immediately. Everything I built was slowly being corroded, all because of my egotistical desire of getting more power. PIDF officers slowly went away. The place was, once again, an uncontaminated sanctuary for pals. All my effort was destroyed because of me. Gotta be honest, at night this zone had quite a different atmosphere, especially considering the huge skeletons scattered around. I was slowly gathering all my supplies, but I made a realization. Did I really lose something? I may have lost the structures, okay, and even my plans, but I still had all my pals by my side. They were helping me, even now, after all of this. This is nowhere near being over. You think I'm gonna give up now just because some stupid idiots decided to burn my base? No, I started to feel motivated again, and so the construction started over. And with the process, while rebuilding, I also decided we have to change how things are managed to increment efficiency. For those of you that don't know, I am currently studying management engineering, and one of the exams I'm doing this session is specifically about different approaches to work assignment. So what I am gonna do now is to adopt the horizontal specialization. You see, you can fix pals into specific jobs, so they will never just go around and do whatever they are able to do. In this way, you are sure there is always gonna be someone working on the specific progress you want. This is a high horizontal specialization. Less tasks, but focalized. And not only that, I am tired of crafting the base pal spheres. That's why we are gonna build a wrench where, by placing these specific pal, we're able to generate them over time. And I am feeling ambitious. Let's also add electricity and illumination to my base. Things were starting to go for the better. It took me around 1 more hour for some preparation and for some useful pals specialized into certain tasks, but the base was feeling way more efficient than before. I also proceeded with my explorations and eventually was able to capture the boss version of Petalia. Other than finding another tower, am I even ready for this one? I wasn't really sure anymore. I think we're gonna go back here later. I still don't feel ready. And I think there is also another encounter I should mention. While exploring, I was able to see the entrance to a cave. The difference is, it was not a normal cave where you have a loading screen when you enter. It was just a road. And at the end of the road there was the black marketeer. He was selling some very overpriced pals, but all those guillotines in the room were kinda creepy. For now, I prefer to leave. Oh, and you would be interested to know that in this exact moment that I'm editing the video, I stumbled upon, and I'm not joking, 3 hours in a row of pure exploration and capture of more pals. I am not joking, 3 hours in a row just going around, exploring new stuff, catching new pals. In particular, I also found some noteworthy structures. At one point, I found a giant palace made with the same material we found in the sanctuary I live in. Just, what is that material? Is it something technological-ish? Is that related to why we are in this place, maybe? And then there was also a succession of weird monoliths with that same material, mixed with a medieval castle. And I'm sorry, but I have to bring up Digimon World again. I love this environment. It reminds me a lot of how Digimon World combined nature with all sorts of electrical components. Here instead we have a contrast between nature and a material which infests the whole world apparently. It almost seems like this material comes from the world itself. Maybe it's related to the tree? There is a giant volcano. If my video game nose smells well, at its top there will be something useful for sure. I gotta be honest, this is maybe my favorite area for now. It feels more various than other regions which tend to just have trees and rocks. But let's say there is also another reason for which I particularly like this. While I was exploring, a health bar appeared. Okay, let me analyze the few seconds you just saw. The first thing that comes to your mind is probably, is that pal lagging? But to me, it was a jump in the past. In some very old Subnautica builds, I think when the Dragon Leviathan was just being added, he was able to move around in the same laggy way as Jet Dragon. My heart skipped a beat in these seconds. I fell in love with this pal. But it's level 50 and we're around level 30, so for now forget it, let's live before I die. After this I started climbing the volcano, for which I had to alternate regular climbing to flying because my Nightwing had very low stamina, and sometimes there were no spots where he could land to restore it. This climbing section overall felt very cool to play. Eventually, we reached the top. There was a teleport statue, which already makes this worth it because it means I will never have to climb like this again, and there was another tower. And even though the map was still almost completely obscured in that part, I decided to pause the volcano exploration, in order to search earlier zones in other continents to find more bosses. Bosses give a great amount of experience, and offer also some fun, so it's always a good idea to go for them to relax for a bit. And remember, bosses in the arenas can respawn, so you can refight them, recapture them, you decide. In the meantime, we got a new pal which is called Lunaris. Now, maybe it was the fact that my motivation was on stellar levels, or maybe it was the fact that I had a lot of pal spheres, but I decided to do it. The one creature which from the start of the run has constantly been on my mind. Mammorest, the king of the forest. It is time to catch it. This battle wasn't just a boss battle, it was the biggest test of nerves I have faced for now here. Our deer is way faster than Mammorest, we have time to escape and then attack, but even one single mistake may cause our death, and the loss of hours of progresses. But here comes the strategy. Our deer knew a fire move, which was vital, because it can burn him. Burn, as I already told you, is fantastic. So yeah, over day and overnight, I kept going around, attacking from time to time with my fire skill. The battle overall had a duration of almost 15 minutes. But finally, after a lot of time, and after realizing he's not able to cross the river and his AI will break, what? We got the king of the forest. Hey, shouldn't I be happier about it? Shouldn't I celebrate for this? Like, look how strong he is. Then, why I don't care anymore? Why do I feel empty in this moment? I was kinda confused, but I realized pretty soon. My mind was completely thinking about something else. Or should I say, about someone else. that we saw only for a couple of seconds, and yet it felt like we spent an eternity together. Jet Dragon. So, I have made some changes from the previous chapter. Now the whole floor is made of stone, and I can guarantee you it is absolutely not because the floor burned again and I lost everything again. Absolutely, trust me, that did not happen whatsoever. Help me. But hey, now I can ride Mamorest. That is so cool. And also with the new base level, I can now have a third base. Because of that reason, I immediately went back to the volcano zone. It was time for some more exploration and probably to also find another spot for a base. So it's very simple, just some chill exploration, right? Well, just before I saw it again. Eh? Another sanctuary? What? How many of these sanctuaries are even present in the world? Needless to say, my curiosity was too much. So I went there and oh my god, what is that? No, this time I am not unprepared. I placed a base down immediately, so if I die, I can respawn here. And then I got another brainwave. Wait a second, I can summon 15 pulse here to weaken this monster and then catch it. Whoops. What? You think I give up so easily? Of course not! Now we can craft hyperspheres in our base with the new assembly line. Hyperspheres should incredibly help against the higher level monsters. And now we can try it again. Yes! Your Moontide is ours! And it's coincidentally a fantastic upgrade to our base. He has level 4 in Kindling Job, the highest one in this category so far. And Kindling is essential towards the production of ingots, which are involved in creating hyperspheres. So now we improved the efficiency a lot. But I was annoyed a lot by the low level of my pulse because of my level, so I went around and captured some more bosses. I got Warsect, I got Vertash, even Mosandalux. But most importantly, Elfidran. You don't know this because I did cut this part from the video because it was becoming too long, but I actually died for a full hour in battles against these earlier on. So being able to finally capture him was priceless. Really, fighting bosses is the funniest way to gather new powerful allies. There is one thing though, that I was not expecting during this process. To have another epiphany. Let me explain. By this point, I thought I basically saw all the major continents of the world, okay? And then, after reaching one of the peaks of the icy mountains, I saw it. What? Another continent hidden up to now, with even potentially more new powerful pulse? I find it amazing how the PAL deck only has around 110 pulse, and yet there are so many different areas to explore for all of them. And I really think with future updates, when this game probably implements new continents, or even just simply the 3, and this number increases, it could become even more funny. Do you know Slime Rancher, for example? That game too increased the amount of species available of slimes over the years. And I mean, judging from the fact that Slime Rancher 2 exists, it worked. So, I reached this new desert continent, and oh my god, what is that, Suzaku? Level 40? Is level 40 the standard here? Remember, I still cannot teleport. If we die, I have to go here again. So, the safest thing to do is try to catch Suzaku immediately. I think I could play lottery today. But still, this did not fix the problem. I still did not have a single teleport statue. And what is that? Another sanctuary? And eventually, I finally saw what seemed to be a small village. It was in decay, though. Like, it was all destroyed. But at least we got a teleport statue. They also told me some informations, in particular, a certain Marcus, a PIDF big shot, is the one that keeps the village safe. Okay, so, canonically, in my mind, this village is held by Spamton, okay? But there was a more interesting conversation. Rumors say there is a legendary PAL in the desert. Of course, I immediately started my researches, but after a short while I realized I was in a hostile environment. Underleveled. with only one teleport statue. Nope, not gonna fall for it again. Let's leave. Despite me being underleveled for that, maybe I was not underleveled anymore for the Ice Tower. And the boss of the Ice Tower is... a grass-type pal? I mean, that's still fantastic because my Yormuntide and my Suzaku were ready for the occasion. They are both fire, so they have type advantage. Overall, this battle was pretty funny, especially because I brought my Poison Bow and Poison Arrows to be sure to deal that extra damage to the boss, which if you didn't notice had 69k HP. You naughty developers. And with 3 minutes remaining, it was over. Our second tower was conquered. Even though, more than being happy for the tower itself, I was happy that I was becoming stronger in preparation for Jetragon. And that's why by this point I decided to manually farm ores myself. You see, when a Digtoys in your base attacks ore, it deals 1 damage. But when a Digtoys in your party does the same, it deals 25 damage with each attack. I think you see why farming manually speeds up the process, right? After getting more resources, I remembered that there was one side of the volcano I still did not explore. So I jumped and... I fell into a hole. Alright, not a big deal. Let's just climb to go out of here. I don't have enough stamina to exit from here. And I forgot to bring my flying pulse, so I cannot just fly out of this. Am I stuck? This hole is the worst thing I have seen in this game so far. What even is the purpose of placing a hole in here? There is only one solution I found to escape from here in these conditions. I had to keep climbing and falling down to lose HP every single time. But let's not think too much about that, also because there are some new cool pals to capture. The average level here was still kinda high, but with our hyperspheres we were mostly able to capture everything I wanted. And then, I died. 10,000 kilometers away from any teleport statue. So after retaking everything, for you it was just 1 second, for me it was 10 minutes, I reached a port with more people. And someone here also mentioned a falling star or something similar, that may be a pal. With wings. Wait, are they referring to Jetragon? Hey, wait a second. They mentioned in the desert the existence of legendary pals. Is Jetragon a legendary pal? You know, I have just realized that this is the longest video I have currently on the channel. And it also probably required the biggest time to make it, like 50 hours just for the recording, then there is the editing, you know what I mean. And you know what's the funniest part? That I don't think there is gonna be a big amount of people watching it. Like you already know, my channel is mainly focused on fear and hunger, so taking other games is probably counterproductive. Then why am I doing this? Why am I spending all this time working on this project? The reason is very simple. I am having fun. I don't care if the editing would require me a lot of works. I don't care if almost no one probably will watch this, because I am loving doing this. And I really hope that even the slightest part of the love I put into this can be felt. But anyways, I have decided my ultimate goal is Jetragon. I still didn't have clear in my mind if that meant capturing him or just defeating him, but for sure in the current moment we have 0 chances, unless without some preparations. First of all, I started some real grinding, both of experience by going around and capturing even more pals, but also for resources. We needed better spheres to even have a chance against this legendary pal. I was getting dozens of eggs, so I crafted a few incubators, creating the hatch angle, where we can hatch more than 10 eggs at the same time. But before proceeding, maybe it's better if I test a battle against Jetragon to see what do I have to face later? Maybe? I mean, what can possibly go wrong? No, actually, no. A lot of things can go wrong. But come on, it's not like they will go wrong so easily. I can just escape, right? Duration of the fight, 15 seconds. Time to take back my stuff, 5 minutes. No, going back and forth will never bring me to a conclusion, so I just decided where to redeploy my third base. Right here, near Jetragon. The nearer, the better. Now, just to precise, there is an invisible wall to prevent you from creating a base inside of his patrol area, so I placed my PAL box in the first spot available. After all, if we learned something from this video, is that 15 PALs attacking simultaneously is OP. You already know the strategy. Lure him here and hope for the best. Oh, wait. I may have made a mistake. Yeah, maybe placing my PAL box near lava wasn't the cleverest idea I've ever had, but it doesn't matter. It is time to try again. These were just test attempts. I was just trying to understand how did the Jet Dragon work. Is he gonna lose aggro if I go too far? Can I find some safe spots where he cannot attack me? Am I able to make him get stuck in some walls? And I discovered also something weird. Sometimes the Jet Dragon would just jump and then fall and take full damage. What? But at least now he has low health. It was time to bring him near my base to deal more damage and then try to capture him. And after spending some time placing myself, we were finally in a safe position while all our pals were attacking Jet Dragon simultaneously. They were dealing 1 damage, but 15 pals constantly attacking and dealing 1 damage very soon sums up into big numbers. And so, now we were ready, we just have to wait, and after that we can try to capture Did the Jet Dragon die? What? Now, I think I have a vague idea of what happened. These stupid areas, collisions and walls suck. So, what I think happened is Jet Dragon entered in the mountain and fell down to his death. Or at least that's what I think. If you have other ideas, let me know, but god damn it! This is the worst thing that could have happened. Why? Because defeating him legitimately will never have the same taste again, since we already saw the victory screen. So there is only one logical thing to do. We need to capture Jet Dragon once he respawns. Of course, it's not gonna be easy. So I went around for almost an hour to get enough resources to start the production of the next sphere, the Ultra Sphere. With this, I was finally seeing a ray of hope in the distance. So once he respawned, I attempted again. In the process, I also realized something. If he kills me and I immediately respawn in there, his lost HP will remain lost. So technically, we can die in this battle. It's not ideal, and we may actually get spawn killed in some cases, but it's possible. Also, there was another thing I realized. If it's nighttime when he defeats you, then he will immediately attempt to go asleep in the spot he is. So if I lure him to my base, and then it's nighttime, then for the whole night I am almost assured he's never gonna escape from that point. And yet, even with all this knowledge, we fail. And his health resets. No. No, 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 no. I am not gonna end my adventure like this. I have to do something. You have to do something too, which is comment the video, leave a like and subscribe to help me. But I have to do something too, of course. And so I spend, and I am not joking, 3 hours farming materials and capturing pulse to use in the base and to level up in general. I was sure it still was not enough, and the preparation would have required much more time to be consistent, but I was determined to win with this amount of time. While farming, I also catched the black marketeer, which, by the way, is called name_dark trader. Were you even supposed to catch him at all? Oh, and something else happened, actually. I was going around in the desert, and then... Palladius and Necromus. The 2 creatures we saw on the bridge. Remember those statues? Are they the legendary Pal the person in the village was referring to? I was in shambles, yet they weren't my goal, so I left them there. My goal was only one, to become stronger. No more failures, not again. After all this time spent preparing, I reached level 40 and had a very high amount of Ultra Spheres. I fixed a little bit the arena with some stone floors to be sure my pals which are not fire element wouldn't die from the lava, and then it was time to try. One last time. It is only now that I was able to enjoy more the music of this battle. This is not just the Jet Dragon theme anymore. This is the theme of all our journey. Everything we did that brought us here. And yeah, I am trying to be philosophical, but me dying over and over again kinda ruins the moment, you know? And even though Jet Dragon health was going down, my pulse were dying. And I was finishing the pulse available in the storage. Remember, they need 10 minutes to regenerate. Can we even gain 10 minutes during the battle? But at one point, Jet Dragon just left. Was it over? Did I really fail again? Even after all of this? No, this already happened other times, and the Jet Dragon tends to not regain HP immediately, so I shot him with my rifle to regain the aggro, again, and again, and again. I think by this point 10 minutes already passed, so I could have just lured him to my base again and keep attacking him. But then, I think the Destiny was watching once again the situation, and a miracle happened. Full damage! Again! I don't care if it's a bug, it is time. Either I catch him right now, or everything we have done so far will be vain. That's it, we start throwing balls. If I miss a single throw by just half a second, he has a chance to pulverize me with an attack. And if that happens, it's over, because all my stuff would be much far away from my base. I was sweating tremendously by this point, but I was still confident. Oh, yes! Finally! Let's go! We did it. We got the legendary Pal. We are not able to ride him, unfortunately, because that requires being level 50, and we're only level 40. But we still got it. And finally, after all this time, I felt the realization I was searching for. I felt like I accomplished something incredible. But was it really over? We already saw there are 2 more legendary Pals in the desert, and potentially there may be others in the distance, just waiting silently for a worthy opponent. And also I was able to experience multiplayer gameplay with a friend, but that's gonna be a story for another time. So yeah, this was my very first 50 hours in Palworld. I hope you actually liked it, especially if you arrived up to this point, because I really think this game has a lot of potential, but I mean, after all, it's the first game on sales on Steam, so I am not the only one that is realizing it. And you know, originally I was thinking about streaming these first 50 hours, but then I just wasn't able to stop playing, and I thought a stream in which I have to interrupt and technically cannot play while I'm not on stream would have kinda ruined the moment, you know what I mean? But we could do it now. Would you want streams of Palworld? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you liked the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because that's gonna help me a lot. But anyways, for now I was Rapolo94, and I will see you next time.